Hey guys, welcome to another video here, part of the membership. This one's going to be a good one. It is how tactics work, how to build your own custom tactics. It's going to kind of be just a general guide about tactics, but then I'll look for each of them and use that to explain to you how maybe you can adapt your tactics to yourself. So for me and Jambu, the two main formations that we will run as part of any game will be either the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-4-2. I run the 4-4-2, second variation, the one with CDMs. I think Jambu does as well at the moment. It's pretty similar to the 4-4-2, just gives you a bit more defensive stability. There are certain formations which I just think will hinder you and will not play as well on FIFA. I've seen lots of different questions in the Discord, lots of people asking different things about different formations, trying to play different styles of play. I saw Damo asking in the Discord about playing a ticky-tack style of FIFA. It's quite hard to do certain things on this game, and the reason that we generally recommend the tactics we put out, the 4-4-2 and the 4-2-3-1, is that we think they just suit the game and how the game plays. I'm not saying that is the only way to play the game. For us, we just think it is the meta. Meta means most efficient tactic available, and for us, we just think they work very well. But I'm going to go through the tactics and tell you maybe how you can adapt yours. So, first place you have to look really is at your team. If you've got 3 defensive-minded midfielders, it's going to be a struggle to play a 4-4-2 because you can't really put a defensive midfielder out wide or up front. So it's up to you whether you want to build a tactic around your team or build a team around a tactic. I think it's a bit easier to build a team around the tactic, but that's the first place you want to start, and you really have to consider the types of players in your team. Then, of course, are how you have to consider your tactic. So for me, my tactic, I play 2 CDMs, and one of them has to be a playmaker, one of them has to be a destroyer, like a defensive-minded player. So for me, that's Fernandez and Valverde. So that affects how I build my tactic. If you want to play a really attacking, aggressive style, then you might want to up your depth. You might want to have 2 attack-minded CDM. If you want to play a possession-based, defensive drop-back game, you might want to have 2 very defensive CDMs like Kante as well instead of Fernandez. There's different ways of playing, different styles. So yeah, consider your team versus tactic. How does that work out? I'm going to actually go look at the tactics. So just in case some people aren't aware of this, this formation here that you can see, this is not how I actually play in game. I don't have Marcus Rashford playing at CDM and Bruno Fernandes playing at right attacking midfield. This is solely for chemistry purposes. So in game, the team does not play like this. This is just the balanced tactic. So you can see here, I use that for chemistry. Then in game, I use the left or right directional on the controller to change to one of these tactics. Some people aren't aware of that, so it's better that I say just in case. The main 2 tactics I use are the 4-4-2 for most of the game, and then the 4-2-3-1-2 when I'm seeing out a game, like trying to hold on to a lead. I think it's important to have, at the very least, a standard plan, a plan to see out a game, and then a plan to come back into the game. That's my ultra attacking. I don't think you need 4 tactics, but you can always use that to experiment. This is the tactic I'm not using right now, so I'm just going to put show you how different tactics work in this one because I'm not even using it. So the defensive style. This goes all the way from constant pressure, which is very aggressive, constant team pressure. You can't do this all game though. You just literally can't. Simply put, your team just runs out of stamina. All the way to drop back. So if you struggle, you might, obviously one of the ways you might want to design your tactic around yourself is how are you playing? How are you defending? How are you struggling against people? If you're really struggling against pacey through balls in behind, drop back might be the one for you. The defensive style has quite a lot of correlation, links a lot to the depth. So if you're playing drop back, you probably want to lower your depth. If you're playing press after possession loss, you probably want to up your depth. For me, I play press and heavy touch 5 depth. I don't think you want really high width because you're too open in the middle. You don't want really low width because you're going to be too open out wide. But it depends on the formation, how they play. So the defensive style very much is about when you're not in possession, how aggressive you are going to be. So if you're a really aggressive player, you might want a higher defensive style. If If you're a defensive-minded player who wants to hold your shape, be organised, you might want to go down to drop back. Offence, I personally don't recommend possession because I think it really hinders the player runs and makes it hard to score. But if you really do want to keep the ball a lot, frustrate your opponent, see a lot of possession and try build up slowly, possession is probably the one for you. Fast build up is better for when you're playing really high press. So if you're playing a really quick counter-attacking game, trying to win the ball and go straight for goal, fast build up will be for you. Long ball is again for counter-attacks when you're probably sitting quite deep. So fast build up's more when you win the ball high up the pitch with high pressing. Long ball's more when you're sitting deep, I would say. And then balance can fit most tactical styles. Width, are you looking to get lots of crosses in? Stretch teams, width's good for that. Players in box, this is basically how attacking do you want to be. The most important part, I would say, let me just set this again just to what I had, just to make sure in case I want to try the 4-2. Yeah, that's fine. The formation tends to be the crux, the most important point of any tactic. So for me, like say the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-4-2, like I say, the formation is vital. You can't really play certain styles in certain formations. So you need to find a formation that suits your team, but then also suits how you want to play. So if you want to play really attacking football, then the 4-1-2-1-2 might be for you. Because it's got lots of attackers, it's got a triangle in the middle. It might not be as good defensively. If you want a balanced formation, the 4-4-2 can do a bit of everything. If you want a bit more of a defensive formation, the 4-2-3-1 with the 2 CDMs can be there. If you want to really sit deep, frustrate your opponent, counter-attack, 5-back can be really good for that. 3 at the back is very good for attacking play, but can leave you a bit more open. There's lots of different formations. Let's look. There's 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30 different formations. So you've got a lot to pick from. 4-3-3 is good for possession. I'm not sure if it's good for much else though. I personally don't like the 4-3-3 anymore on FIFA. On FIFA 18, I quite like 4-3-3-5. It's the false 9. That would probably be the closest to a real-life Barcelona style of play. I just don't think you can replicate that very well on FIFA. If you are very serious about just getting the absolute best results, I think there's only a few formations that are going to be viable at the top level. If you want to just experiment and try to replicate real football, then you can try a few different formations, I would say. The instructions are a key part as well. Especially on the midfield. The midfield is where you can really decide how negative you might play, say, or how counter-attacking you want to be. If you put a lamb and a ram in the 4-2-3-1 and stay forward, you will not have as much defensive support, but they will sit very high up the pitch and you will be able to counter-attack quick. So if you want to high press and go straight for goal and counter-attack, stay forward on them can be really good. But it will leave you more open defensively. So if you want to be more defensively stable, keep your shape, you might want to come back on defense. That would be an example of that. The cam, do you want lots of men in the box? Things like that can be affected. I don't really touch the interceptions, but you could maybe experiment with that. The fullbacks, this is again a big part of how defensive you want to be. If you want them to be really attacking, you can go join the attack, overlap. I tend to go stay back while attacking, except for my really attacking formations. You do really notice on CDMs balanced or stay back. For me, I like to have a mix of balance and stay back. A lot of formations do have the 2 CDMs or centre mids. If you want to be more defensive, have more shape, stay back. If you want more options in attack, balanced attack's going to work for you. But again, experiment, find what works for you. The attacking runs, target man will mean he kind of just floats around the middle, holds the ball up. False 9 will mean he'll drop into the midfield. Mixed attack does a bit of everything. Getting behind, literally tries running behind. You'll want getting behind generally on players if you want to play counter attack. For me, the tactics for the most part, there's a certain way of playing which I just think is the best. I keep saying that because obviously I'm here to try help you guys get the best results. But as you can see, there's lots of ways you can experiment. And a lot of the time people do find things that one might work for them better than other things, or two, they might find something that people haven't really tried or experimented with before, which actually could be the mare. FIFA offers you a lot of different ways of changing how you play, changing your tactics. If you've got any cool ways of playing, please let us know in the Discord. But yeah, that's how you can build tactics, that's how they work. thank you very much for watching this video. Hope it was helpful for you.